Does the female gaze exist at all? If this is the male gaze, objectifying, sexualizing, all the things, it's not like the female gaze, it's just removing the male gaze. Does that make sense?
That actually does make a lot of sense, because according to a lot of definitions of female gaze, the removal of the male gaze is the female gaze. So the male gaze was coined by Laura Mulvey in 1975, and when she used it in this article, she wasn't talking about something that men do exclusively. The male gaze is the centering of men's experiences and desires, yes. But it's not something that is done by men alone. Women are just as capable of reproducing the male gaze from behind a camera or experiencing it from in front of a screen. When Bracha Ettinger proposes the matrixial gaze in the early 1990s, it's not really a matter of who's behind the camera or on it for that matter. And it's not about sexual desire either, but rather about an entirely different ethic and subjectivity. Compassion, care, responsibility. For the filmmaker Joey Soloway, on the other hand, the female gaze is much more of a technical, theoretical exercise. It's about the relationship between filmmaker and audience. Soloway outlines 3 key concepts: feeling, seeing, so think about moments where a character breaks the fourth wall and addresses us directly. The gazed gaze, so a moment where a character appears to be addressing us so that we feel the gaze as if we are the object of their attention. And then finally, returning the gaze, a moment where a character realizes that they are in fact an object of male gaze. At least half of the Barbie movie is doing exactly this. Of course, these aren't the only definitions of female gaze. Outside of scholarly contexts, female gaze is frequently used to describe stories that are made by women, starring women, for the consumption of women, and for the enjoyment of women too, according to what straight women desire. Like Chris Hemsworth's delightfully non-threatening himbo in the Ghostbusters movie. This particular use of female gaze tends to be rejected by academics, though, because it's just the reverse of the male gaze. It doesn't do anything to undermine it or problematize it. And the undermining, if not the destruction, of the male gaze and the ideologies that it supports is usually pretty central to most definitions of female gaze. And one final point about female gaze here is that there is no the female gaze. There are just a variety of female gazes. Unlike male gaze, it is not just one thing. It's flexible, it's varied, it is very context dependent. And I think that that is its great strength, but also a weakness, because it makes it very difficult for us to know what anybody is talking about when they use it.